You are not following any particular Mediterranean diet, keto diet, this diet, that diet for your patients when you're subscribing these diets to your patients.
In case of PCOS, not exactly. Because I feel they should have a balanced meal and having adequate amount of fiber. Again, which having a low glycemic index food matters a lot here, as you're well aware, because which doesn't rapidly increase the blood glucose level, and having more complex carbs and adequate fiber is going to help us in that matter. That there is a very slow and steady rise of glucose in the blood. So that is very important and crucial for any PCOS. So that and also taking into consideration their lipid profile. So which is going to parallelly work hand in hand.
So yeah, we have discussed about diet, PCOS, diabetes, everything. Along with that, exercise do matter. So just wanted to just know from Ms. Alekhya that what type of exercise do they engage in? PCOS patients should engage in, and how long do they continue the exercises?
Yeah. Hi, this is Alekhya. So as we all know that diet and exercises together can help improve the symptoms of PCOS. I would like to tell you about the type of exercises that we can do and that can help to improve our PCOS symptoms. So we design an exercise program in such a way that we combine both the cardio and the strength training exercises together so that they are both together can help a patient. So how does the cardio exercises help? Cardio exercises help in improving the insulin sensitivity and boost fertility and stabilize our mood. So a moderate exercise like brisk walking, jogging, cycling, or swimming are all great exercises that can help with improving our PCOS symptoms. So in these type of exercises, we increase our insulin sensitivity and thus reduce the risk of cardiovascular diseases and also type 2 diabetes. So doing at least 30 to 45 minutes of exercise, cardio exercises daily can also help you with the weight management and the symptoms of depression and anxiety. They can also improve the frequency of menstrual cycles and ovulation. So for a woman who is about to start with IVF, a regular light cardio exercise can boost their reproductive system. And coming to the strength training exercises. So the strength training, on the other hand, can build up the muscle, which is important in raising the basal metabolic rate, so that we consume no amount of energy and calories, not only while doing your exercises, but also at rest. So the strength training means only our body weight exercises like a squat, push-ups, and triceps dips. So combining both the cardio exercises and the strength training is the best way to reduce weight, increase your basal metabolic rate, and thus reducing the risk of cardiovascular diseases and type 2 diabetes. We also design an exercise program not based on the individual condition. Like if there's an overweight patient, the main purpose is to reduce their weight. So we opt for high intensity interval exercises, which means a short bout of high intensity exercise, which is followed by a lower intensity recovery period. So these high intensity exercises, and which is followed by a lower intensity exercise, can boost up their cardiovascular fitness and also reduce their abdominal fat. So this is being proved that this kind of high intensity exercise can also decrease the level of testosterone, which is the main cause for our PCOS symptoms, and also improve the insulin sensitivity. And for a patient who is planning for pregnancy, we also add core strengthening exercises in their exercise program so that they can prepare their body for the future pregnancy. So training the pelvic floor muscles, which are a part of their core muscles, can help them prevent incontinence and boost up their sexual health and also improve their pelvic stability to support this pregnancy. And people with overweight also complain of back pain and the poor posture. So for those kind of patients, we also train them the core strengthening exercises so that the core muscles can support their spine while they are doing their exercises and not injure themselves. And the most important thing is we need to sustain these exercises for a longer time. So what to choose? Choose something which you really enjoy. So if you enjoy your exercising, you can really sustain it for a long time. You can choose like Zumba, Pilates, yoga, aerobic exercises, cycling, walking, swimming. And these exercises should be planned accordingly, like your cardio and your strength training should be planned and given to you. Okay, this is the way we plan the exercises according to the patient's individuality.
Yeah. Thank you, Alekhya. So, rightly you mentioned about depression and stress. Exercise is the best way to deal with. But we have Miss Kirti with us, holistic healer professional. Would like to know from you, Kirti, that how does it help? How do these women deal with depressions and anxiety and stress in day-to-day life? Because nowadays these women they are really in a society struggle with the kind of body image they carry with the PCOS, and the adolescent girls are bullied in the school because of their altered body images. How do they cope with this kind of depressions? How do they handle it in their day-to-day life? Could you please tell our viewers? Miss Kirti?
Hi, see, depression.
Hello?
Hi,
Yes.
can you hear me? Yes. Depression and stress are the high risk factors among the patients with PCOS. So, the reason for the extreme mental stress and depression in an adolescent with PCOS is basically due to the appearance of embarrassing symptoms such as hair loss or excessive hair growth and obesity and acne. So it's very important that maintenance of healthy and active lifestyle can support to lessen both the physiological and also the psychological symptoms. And these there are some very some of the behavioral interventions
Kirti ma'am,
also.
sorry to interrupt.
Uh, yeah,
Yeah, your voice is very low, ma'am. We can't
It
hear
is
you.
it very low? One second. Is it okay now?
Little louder would be good, ma'am.
bit
Little.
loud.
Is it okay right now?
Yeah, now
Yes.
it is okay. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, so some of the psychological and also behavioral intervention approaches that are very dominantly useful in relieving depression in patients with PCOS, particularly at the adolescent stage, help us in improving quality of sleep or healthy diet or improved lifestyle, in fact. And there are other complementary and also alternative therapies like acupuncture, practicing mindfulness, and yoga or guided relaxations, and there are some breathing exercises and meditation, which may also improve the symptoms of anxiety, in the patients with PCOS. And then when we are talking about the adolescent girls and women, about the altered body image and the bullying part at school or anxiousness and all that. See, having PCOS can be really hard for every girl or woman, but then fortunately there are many things you can do to reduce physical symptoms and take care of the emotional side of the living. Like we've got many medicines to slow down or stop excessive growth of hair. And also we've got very good qualified hair specialist, and who can also give us good treatments for the removal of the hair and all that unwanted hair. And then also for the acne, to make it little better. So we've got all these things. So having their own set of teams or groups of teens, or a woman with a similar kind of PCOS problems, wherein they can talk to them and then share information together, so that they'll be able to come out with lot of other informations, how to sort out issues among themselves and all that. So maybe this would help them out in the kind of bullying or worrying about their physical appearance and all that, and would recommend a very good exercise and strict diet, which will also keep the obesity at bay.
Yeah. Thank you. So, yeah, as mentioned, these women face lots of skin problems and hair growth issues. So, Dr. Archana, could you tell us what type of problem do they face with PCOS? How it is involved?
Yeah, Sharmi, as we have been discussing that PCOS is mainly a disorder which is caused due to the hormonal imbalances in the body. And in these women, there is mainly excess of androgens, hyperandrogenism, that is, male hormones are seen more in the blood levels for these women. So they will be suffering from many skin issues, in fact. So these women usually come up saying they have oily skin, acne, which is the most common problem seen in most of the women, and acanthosis nigricans, which is a condition where they have like dark, pigmented, velvety skin patches seen on mostly on the face and back of the neck. And there are skin tags, excess of facial hair growth, excess of body hair growth, and they might have pigmentation, more darkening of the skin in the axilla, that is armpits and back of the neck, and they might even complain of dandruff, some of them, and some may complain of seborrhea as well, that is red itchy skin with little white scales. So like it is not a general acne which is seen in common people, but the PCOS, these people have a hormonal acne. So when this kind of acne should be treated with medications like not only the topical application, not the topical creams like benzoyl peroxide or salicylic acid or retinoids, but the correction should be made for the underlying cause, that is hormonal imbalances should be corrected in them, so that the treatment is more efficient and it would be more complete rather than just the topical applications. So they would require like anti-androgens are given in them, birth control pills or oral contraceptives would be given in these women. So acne is treated in that way for these women, which is a most common problem. Most of the women come with complaint of acne.
So
These are the
those are
skin
skin
problems
related
usually.
issues, but what are the effects of PCOS on pregnancy?
Yeah, PCOS effects on pregnancy, as we discussed, these women will have varied degrees of insulin resistance. So because of this insulin resistance, they're more prone for gestational diabetes, hypertensions, and in the early pregnancies, they might have a risk of miscarriages as well, because most of them will have infertility issues and they will be conceived with inductions as well. So they might even have preeclampsia issues. So with the proper guidance, proper counseling, and proper checkups, regular antenatal checkups and care, the pregnancy would be rather successful. And as Dr. Vrinda has been saying, they would require a GTT and all those tests for gestational diabetes and all to be ruled out. So with all these tests, I think the pregnancy would be rather successful.
Oh, okay.
These are the general effects of PCOS and pregnancy.
Right.